And is there such a thing as a death dream? Do dreams announce death?
I have now just started a study on dreams, last dreams of people before they enter the coma. And the dreams of dying people are not about death, but generally about either a journey, they have to get ready for a journey, or they have to go through a dark tunnel and be reborn into another world, or they have to go through a disagreeable darkness or dark cloud to come out in another space, or they are going to finally meet their beloved partner. That's the famous motif of the death as a marriage with one's own other inner half. Or they dream about when they are worried, when they are strongly identified with their body and therefore inclined to think that when the body is finished, everything is finished. Then they have dreams which try to detach them from the body. I remember, for instance, a dream of a man who dreamt just before he died. He was a cavalrist, that his soldier came and said, "Officer, look at what I have to show you." And he showed him the decaying corpse of his horse. Jung interpreted that it was saying, the warm-blooded animal which you are is going to die. That's what's going to happen to it. But it's not you. It's only the warm-blooded animal body which is going to decay, but not you yourself, because he was looking at the corpse of the horse. He was still there. So the dreams of dying people show a tremendous variety, which generally they are the same archetypal motif which comparative ethnology has found out about death rituals and death beliefs of life after death in the different human populations. That it is a rebirth, that it is a long, long journey into another country, that it is a transformation, that it is a partial destruction, but something survives, and so on. There are very many motifs.
Earlier you told me a dream of a dying woman.
Well, that was a very simple woman, and she told the nurse in the morning after breakfast, "Tonight I had a strange dream. I dreamt that there was a candle on the windowsill, and it was slowly burning down, and it began to flicker. And I had a panic, and I thought, my God, now the great darkness is coming, the great darkness is coming." And then suddenly there was a change, and the candle was outside the windowsill on the outer part of the window, and was big and burning quietly again. Isn't that a strange dream? 4 hours after that dream, she died. The dream seems to tell her, yes, the candle of your light is flickering, it's going out, but it will continue in another medium. Beyond a certain threshold, the window would be an isolating threshold. It is going on in another sphere. That very same life is going on. She was very comforted by the dream without understanding it. And that is a typical dream of a dying person. You have many such dreams. For instance, I remember another dream which has been published by a medical doctor of a man who dreamt that he saw an abyss, and at the border of the abyss was growing a big tree, and the tree was slowly losing its roots and having its roots in mid-air. And suddenly there was an earthquake, and the tree was falling down. And he thought, that's the end. And at that moment, the tree began to hover in mid-air and to continue to exist in mid-air without having roots in the earth, just growing on. As if the unconscious would say, your tree of life is losing only its contact with earthly reality, but it's not dying. It's growing on. The life process is going on in another medium. And that's the gist of most dreams of dying people. That's why it is very worthwhile to continue analysis with dying people. Many psychological schools don't bother anymore about old or dying people because they think they have nothing to adapt to life anymore. What about sex problems? When you are on your deathbed, it's no longer something you can deal with. But you can see that the voice of nature, or the voice of instinct, which are the dream, help the people to die in peace and to comfort them. When many people to whom I told such dreams objected, that is wishful thinking. The dreams are wish fulfillments, but I don't believe it, because as you see from the dream of the decaying horse, the nature does say the end is coming. So quite unsentimentally, and the candle, the flickering candle, does go out in that old woman's dream. But at the same time it says, yes, something is coming to an end, but there's something in another medium going on. It's very difficult to imagine how and what, but we can only take it as such.
Are there dreams that say a person is actually going to die?
Till they are actually dead, you are never quite sure. Because once I had, for instance, the experience of a woman who consulted me, and she had cancer everywhere, all metastases all over the body. And she had shocking death dreams. She dreamt that her watch was stopped, and she brought it to the watchmaker, and he said it can't be repaired anymore. She saw her favorite tree felled in the garden, and it was gone. And I didn't even interpret the dreams to her. She said to me sadly, that clearly says the outcome of my illness. While the doctors told her, you will be better and it'll be all right and so on, in the usual way. But she was sure. She had a terrible shock from that and pulled up her sock and faced her problem. She had a problem she hadn't faced. And I can only say she's still alive after 15 years. So she had death dreams to give her a death shock. But it was like that. She could have died and she could have not died. She chose to, out of shock, she chose to live. And that's why, since I have experienced that, I would say even if people have death dreams, it might only mean that they should face death. It doesn't mean that it will actually happen. But it certainly means they must face it. They must come to a naked confrontation with the fact that their life might come to an end. But if that can give them a salutary shock and they continue to live, or if it actually means now it is finished, that I would never dare to say before the end has come. But there is sometimes a kind of uncanny smell around certain dreams where one has the feeling that forebodes death. But that's more a parapsychological, mediumistic feeling one has about it. Scientifically, I couldn't give any reasons why that dream means actual death and the other means only the problem of death. There's sometimes one gets a gruesome shiver when people tell you a death dream, and then it's as if your nervous sympathetic system would say, watch out. This really means death.
Based on your experience of dreams, do you believe in life after death?
I wouldn't say I believe in it. That is a bit too strong. I would say it seems to me from the dreams that there is a life after death. And because I think that dreams do not cheat and are not wish fulfillment, there must be something going on. There must be an aspect of life or the psyche going on. The worrying thing about it, the question I would not dare to answer univocally is, does life go on impersonally, or does the personal ego, what you feel is your individual identity going on? There are contradictory documents in that way. For instance, if you take the dream of that tree, you can say, yes, the life process of that man is going on, but not his ego. He himself is no longer around. On the contrary, there are other dreams which point to the fact that even the conscious identity goes on. So that is, to me, an open question.